Hi guys, and welcome to the first part of the organised game night for PGR2 online. This is from the 3rd of October and we've got 7 people to start things off in Moscow for this one. So if you are interested in joining these sorts of events, I'll leave a link below to the PGR2 Discord and also to Xlink Kai, which is how you can set that up to play online. So, starting off in 4th place here in the Honda S2000. There's quite a few others in the S2000 as well, and also a couple in the Porsche Boxster. I've got Rob in front in the Porsche Boxster, and there's 3 leading the way up there. I can see Sakis and Null Control, who's hosting this event, and he'll also be recording it from his point of view as well. So if you check him out, you can see that recording as well. We've also got Henkel there, which I've just completely sideswiped. Got into his racing line there, so that was my fault for that one. But we're in 4th place at the moment, and Henkel comes on the inside and regains his position. So there's 5 of us up here, all in close contention, sweeping round here, and still got the 4 in front. Null Control is now on the right hand side, going for the move, and there's a collision between them both, and I also punt him up the rear, so unfortunately he skids off to the side there. That's going to be hard to make back the ground for that. But I go for a slide around here. Didn't really work out. Crashed into the barrier, but then Henkel also does the same onto the outside. So we're able to pass him. And we've got Rob and Sakis up there in front, having a little battle there for 1st place. And unfortunately, one of the members has got the MR2, the back runner, in 7th place. I don't think they had the better cars unlocked in the Sports Convertible class, which is a bit of a shame. So he won't be competing in this one, I'm afraid. But Sakis has just got ahead of Rob a little bit there. I take that corner fairly okay, so make a little bit of ground on him. But we have got 5 laps of this. So this game night went on for about 2 hours, just over 2 hours. So I'll break it down into different parts. So this is part 1, and we'll be using the Sports Convertible. We did 4 races in a class, and then we changed the which class we used, so just to change things up a little bit. But can I do this corner better this time? Do indeed. Making a little bit of ground, but not too much. The 2 best cars in the class, the S2000 and the Boxster, so it's good to see everybody using a mix of these. But it's whether we can change any position. We're all sort of staying the same distance apart here. Sakis, Robin and me, and Null Control is now in 4th place, I think. Overtaking Henkel there. They look like they're pretty close. 4th and 5th back there. Making a bit of hash of that corner. So Rob's starting to pull away from me now. So still in 3rd place. And yeah, there's looking pretty close between 4th and 5th there now. Henkel has overtaken. Null Control there. Going over the jump onto the 4th lap. And Rob's now 2 seconds ahead now. So it's going to be difficult to try and make any ground. This corner's especially hard to do, judge this right. But doing that a little bit better this time. I think Sakis may be pulling away slightly, but Rob may actually be closing the gap slightly as well. So he's pulling away from me, both of them anyway. Yeah, I think the gap between them two is about the same, and they're pulling away from me a little bit. This is the first event we did in the night, so we're probably all a little bit rusty, so it's like the warm-up event. But I do take that corner a little bit better than Rob there, so making a bit of ground. Desperately trying to claw any time back. That Porsche Boxster is pretty good in the straight line. And still on the mini-map we can see 4th and 5th pretty close. And there goes Cody. He's only got the MR2, I'm afraid, so I think we decided in the next round he could use a different car out of a class if he's only got the stock ones unlocked. But I was making some ground there on the final lap, but ruined it by colliding with the barrier. So still in 3rd place, and if no one makes any mistakes, this looks like it's how it's going to finish. Rob is basically the same distance again from Sakis in front. Henkel made a bit of ground on me there, maybe closed a second in. taking that fairly nicely again. Still that 1 second, so it's been basically the same distance apart for the whole race. But on these wider tracks, we're always going to have these separations. And in the tighter tracks, which is going to be one of the next ones, it's more interesting, everyone's closer together. So there is the first event down. Got a third place there, so Sakis in the lead with Rob 2.8 behind. I was 3.6 behind, and then Henkow and Null Control very close there, a second between them. And Nacho's still running in the Honda S2000, and Cody is in the MR2. So that's the first event, and we do actually get 8 for the next event, if I do remember. So we see Nacho finish there in the S2000. So I think it was 4 in the S2000, 2 in the Porsche Boxster, which is pretty cool. And then 1 in the Toyota MR2. So we'll wait for the next game. And there we go. So we've changed from Moscow to... oh, sorry, it's not the track I was thinking of, actually. It's still got 7 in this one. Cody's changed to the Cadillac XLR. A little bit more balanced. Henkow goes into the Z4, which isn't quite as good, which he found out. Lacking in acceleration a bit. But we've got 4 laps of the track in Moscow. Zach is in front again, cutting on the inside, and Null Control is right next to me here. So already tight on the first corner. Taking this corner fairly okay, but both me and Sakis hitting the barrier. Null Control in a bit of a fight there with, trying to see who that is, it might be Rob. And going around the inside of here, trying to get the best line possible. It's a hard corner to do that one. But trying to get into the slipstream of Sakis here. See if we can catch him up. And who's behind us? It is Rob. Rob's in the red car there. And then we both make a horrendous error there. I think everybody did, pretty much, apart from Noel, who just streams past us there. Yeah, the car gets a bit slippery when you go down that section. So we've got Noel in the lead now, Sakis and myself. And Rob's about 1.5 seconds behind. So braking early here, going on the inside. Just about undercutting Sakis. Noel's still in the lead here. And Rob's just disappearing a little bit behind there. But we've got 3 of us in close contention here. So this is a good race up the front here. Sakis hits the barrier a bit and then tries to go into the racing line, which I was in. Didn't realise I was there, I don't think. But we slip into first place. Skid round here, lose a bit of speed and time there. And I think Noel did a bit of a power slide. Sakis is coming up. And we can still see Rob there in the background. Bit of a closer race, this one. So going over here, tried to go a little bit more conservative. And sticking to the inside there, not the best line. And I'm blocking Sakis again. He got that area sussed at that point. And Noel comes steaming through again. He's taking those corners really well for the second lap running. So there's 3 of us really close together here again. Sakis goes out wide. I forced him wide a little bit there. Noel hits the barrier. So we're able to overtake him, and Sakis gets a good run coming out of there. I think Rob may have closed the gap slightly behind there. Been a bit conservative on that corner, and I think Sakis is going for the move on the left-hand side. But he's got no room to go through there. And I collide with the inside of the barrier, slowing me down. And Sakis runs into the back of me, slowing him down as well. So again, neck and neck here on the 3rd lap, first and second. I think Rob's just overtaken Noel there, so he's about 1.5 seconds behind. Trying to take this quickly is very difficult, but Sakis seems to have got the hang of that now after our first lap. So moving into the final lap. Can we close Sakis down? That is the question. Noel's now overtaken Rob again. So they're having a bit of a yo-yo between 3rd and 4th there. Taking that corner fairly well, getting into the slipstream of Sakis. Trying to see if we can go for any sort of move around the outside. So we're going to have to do some sort of break early here. Go on the inside of Sakis. He's got the racing line there, so have to tuck in behind him once again. Colliding with the inside and not getting the best line through there. So we're going to have to see if we can make up any ground whatsoever. Again, it's really close coming up this section. You see Henkau coming down there on the other side of the barrier. Once again, Sakis takes that quicker than me, and then I collide with the wall, not once but twice. And then Cody's there in the XLR. And I'm afraid that's it, second place. So Sakis wins by about a second, and I'm not sure who comes in third. We'll have to see. It might have been Noel. And Noel's about 3.5 seconds behind, and Rob's 5.5. But Rob was in the S2000 this time, which is slightly slower than the Porsche Boxster. So pretty good overall. That was a good race. Henkau still running in the Z4, and obviously that's not as good as either of the S2000 or the Boxster. And Cody's in that Cadillac XLR, which isn't brilliant anyway. And this is the race I'm thinking of. So we've got 8 laps in Florence. Again, we've got a couple that have joined that only have the start cars. We've got Pate Cumbia there and Train Crazy Kid in the MR2 and MX5. So they can have a little race between each other. And then we've got Henkau in the lead. Everybody in the Porsche Boxster now, I believe. So we've got 8 laps of this race. Nolan Sakis again in contention. And I do slightly cut off Noel there. Went into his racing line, so that's my fault for that one. And we've got Henkau pulling away slightly now. Sakis overtaking Noel at that point. So understeering pretty badly into the wall there, so Sakis is right on the tail now. With Henkau still about 1.5 seconds. Trying to get used to these corners. Darting in a bit too quickly sometimes. Staying at the same distance. Henkau about 1.5 seconds ahead. Sakis right behind, trying to go for that move. Finally getting a good corner in there, making a lot of ground up on Henkau. Taking this corner nicely. I think Henkau slightly clipped the wall there, so going for the inside move. But Henkau oversteers into my path, causing me to slow up and power slide a bit, and then Sakis is able to go all the way through. Can he maintain the lead? And there's a bit of a collision there. Sakis gets pinned against the wall. Going past Train Crazy Kid there in the MX5. So Sakis got all that ground to make up again, and Henkau retakes the lead. Again, trying to go up the inside, see if there's any room at all, and there isn't, so we're into lap 5, still in second place. And we see Cody in the MR2. And just about overtaking Henkau on that one, so we're now in first place. Trying to get out of the way of Pate there. So moving into lap 6 of 8. And we are 2 tenths ahead of Henkau. I'm not sure who's in third place now. Henkau goes for the move up the inside. Manages to pull it off, and Sakis is behind now. In third. So, see if we can retake this position. Again, taking a fairly good line through there. Getting a good run up. Henkau shutting the door. Colliding into the barrier and slowing down, so Sakis is right on our tail again. So we've got this 3-way battle for first place. How's it going to finish? Because it's lap 7 of 8 now. 2 tenths ahead and 2 tenths behind. Really close this race. Seeing if we can make any sort of move. All 3 of us now coming up to the last lap, or on the last lap, last few corners. Just get blocked slightly by Henkau there, trying to go around the outside, so Sakis is able to slip through. And he goes too quickly around the outside. and then I clip the inside of the barrier. So Henkau finishes first, Sakis just behind, and Rob was catching right at the end there, so he finishes in 4th. Very close race, that one. I think Noel might just be behind there. 8 seconds Noel was behind, and yes, only 2.5 seconds between all 4 first to 4th there, so pretty good. And for the final street race for this episode, we're in Florence for this one, and Mike has joined us. So we've got Mike in first, Sakis behind, and again, this is pretty close, this one. Seeing if I can make any move round there. Mike defends his position. Sakis actually gets spun round completely there by the chaos of the first corner. And clipping the inside of the barrier there, so not doing so well. Taking this corner fairly nicely, getting up the slipstream with Mike. Trying to go around the inside and pulling the move off. And Henkau again is in 3rd place here. Trying to go for the move and getting spun by Mike a little bit, and then Henkau finishing the job, pinning me to the wall. So down to 3rd place. We've got Noel coming up now in 4th place. So we've got some ground to make up here now. So Henkau is still in 2nd, Mike still in 1st. Making up some ground on these corners though. Henkau taking that pretty nicely. And Noel's about a second behind now in 4th. So the first 1 to 4th place is pretty close. And I can't see where the other guys are, because there's 4 other people. Might be Sakis behind Noel, or it could be Rob. Not sure who's in contention there. But Mike's still in 1st, Henkau 2nd, just behind. And Noel's about a 1.5 still behind in 4th. So taking this, okay, Henkau takes it a little bit too wide, and luckily just managed to avoid that. So we'll see if we can catch Mike up. About 4 tenths behind him now, so pretty close. As I say, this is only part 1. We did go on for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So there'll probably be 3 or possibly 4 parts uploaded, and we do 4 races in each class, so makes things a bit more interesting. So right behind Mike now, trying to make that move, and this is hard to overtake on this section. Again, Mike defending his position well there. Trying to go around the inside or the outside of him, just about making the move. Forcing us slightly wide, but we should have the inside for this corner. But then I go too close to the apex, hit the barrier, and Mike's able to pull on through there. And we've got a cluster of 3 cars building up behind there. So Henkau still in 3rd place. I'm taking that corner pretty nicely there. Just about catching Mike up now. See if we can make that move. Again, pretty close, 4 tenths again, pretty much the same time as it was on the first lap. Trying to go around the inside of him there, but oversteering quite badly. Around the final corner for the final lap. And it's really tight, this one. Can't seem to get any ground. I think Henkau's still there, just in 3rd place, 1.5 seconds behind again. Fighting with the inside of the barrier and the inside of that barrier. So it's getting real messy around there. And I think Rob's just made a move there, so he's moved up to 3rd place. Seeing if we can make any sort of move on this last lap. Drafting Mike now. Trying to get that opportunity just to make that move. He just went slightly too wide there, pushed me a little bit too wide. Really trying to block that position there. And we're running out of corners now, so it's looking like it's going to be the final chance to make any move. Go for the move on the inside, and once again hit the inside of the barrier. And Rob does come onto the scene, and there's somebody right behind Rob as well. And coming into the final corner, and Rob makes that move, so he's going to end up finishing in 2nd place, and I'll finish in 3rd, and Henkau just behind, with I think Noel and Sakis probably right behind that. So very close race. 4.5 seconds between first and sixth place there. So very close indeed. Everybody in the Porsche box there. That's going to be it, guys, for part 1, and in part 2 we'll be using cars from the Supercars series, so I will see you in that one.